Tiffany Henyard in court today over illegal appointments she allegedly made for several positions inside the village, among them.
I'm a private investigator. I've got some book that says Super Mayor. Inside I have from the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois.
Tiffany Henyard, once hailed as a powerful figure in her community, now faces a rapid fall from grace. Once proudly calling herself a super mayor, Henyard is now grappling with a storm of scandals, lawsuits, and public humiliation. From unpaid rent to serious allegations of corruption, her rise and subsequent fall have been shocking. Evicted from her home, removed from her position as Thoron Township Supervisor, and under investigation by federal authorities, Henyard's story is one of power lost. In this deep dive, we explore the events that led to her dramatic downfall.
The sheriff's been out here a few times to serve them. For a household that makes, over $350,000 a year.
The eviction that set the internet ablaze centers around Tiffany Henyard and her boyfriend Cal Woods, who are being forced out of the suburban home they've rented since 2021. According to their landlord, Janetta Hull, the couple has failed to pay rent since August, leaving them thousands of dollars in arrears. Hull, who once considered Henyard a friend and even supported her campaign over the situation. The rent, which had increased to $2,400 per month due to rising property taxes, became a point of contention. Hull claims Woods told her they couldn't afford the new rate, despite the couple's combined income of over $300,000 from Henyard's roles as mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor, as well as Woods' well-paying job in the township. As Hull put it, for a household earning more than $350,000 a year, she couldn't understand how they couldn't manage to pay their rent.
The Dalton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now she wants...
But the story takes an even crazier turn. Not only did Henyard and Woods allegedly stop paying rent, but they also reportedly changed the locks and garage codes to keep her out of the property. If I try to go over there with a locksmith to change them back, I think she'll probably have me arrested, Hull told reporters. Visibly frustrated after filing eviction papers in September, Hull said Cook County sheriffs have been unable to serve them, neither at the house nor at Village Hall. Henyard seems untouchable, at least for now. Hull, who says she hasn't worked in months and depends on the income from the property to stay afloat, is at her wit's end. At some point, you have to understand that karma is going to catch up to you. Just pay your rent, she said, adding that even if the couple pays what they owe, she still wants them out.
Tiffany Henyard making a late appearance at the Dalton Village Board meeting this evening. That meeting was being held at the Park District building since Village Hall cannot legally accommodate the crowds at a typical meeting.
Just when it seemed things couldn't get worse for Henyard, they did. Days after the news of the eviction broke, Henyard suffered another major setback, this time to her political career. At a Democratic caucus held to determine nominees for Thornton Township's April election, Henyard was blocked from running for re-election.
It's one thing to win, but let's do it properly and let the people really have a voice. The people's voice was taken today.
Henyard's removal wasn't just about the caucus rules. Her failure to meet the requirements for a full slate of candidates, including the absence of a certified assessor on her ticket, played a role. However, the caucus revealed something deeper, a community fed up with Henyard's scandals. Critics argue that her tenure as supervisor has been tainted by allegations of lavish spending, self-promotion, and misuse of taxpayer funds. And it's not just the residents who feel this way. Social media has been relentless in its criticism. One user commented, "Stop saying misuse of funds. She flat out stole tax dollars and spent them lavishly. That's not misused funds." Another added, "How did she get to this point? A few years ago she was caught breaking into cars. She's always been a professional thief." And she just recently added, "con artist" to her resume. These comments reflect the growing frustration with Henyard's leadership and the sense that her actions have finally caught up with her.
2 agendas, 2 meetings in different locations. It was a little confusing for some residents, but the meeting here at Village Hall canceled after a few minutes because they didn't have a quorum.
But Henyard isn't going down without a fight. She has already vowed to sue everyone involved in the caucus, claiming the process was rigged and illegal. "I will be suing everybody tomorrow. This is illegal, illegal," she shouted as she left the caucus. Her attorney, Max Solomon, echoed these sentiments, accusing Napoleon Harris of creating unfair rules at the last minute to disqualify Henyard. Not one has any faith President below needs to be persuaded to make a difference, she says. She has already sued before in court and is underway to sue again if needed, Henyard declared, criticizing him for not allowing the people to be heard. Despite her defiance, the list of controversies surrounding Henyard continues to grow. In addition to the eviction and the caucus debacle, she is also under investigation by federal authorities for alleged misuse of taxpayer funds. Earlier this year, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, hired as a special investigator, revealed that Dalton's general fund balance had dropped from $61 million in 2022 to a deficit of $3.65 million by May 2024. Lightfoot's report also disclosed alarming spending habits, including $43,000 spent on Amazon in a single day and more than $85,000 on a sparsely attended concert. Residents have accused Henyard of using taxpayer money for personal luxuries such as first-class flights, beauty vendors, and promotional billboards featuring herself. One trustee even described her as running the town like a dictatorship, prioritizing her own image over the needs of the community. But what truly stunned residents was the revelation that Henyard had allegedly pushed for a drastic salary cut for any future township supervisors, reducing the role's pay from over $200,000 annually. Critics quickly labeled this move as a blatant attempt to discourage competition and ensure no one could fill her shoes, even if she were forced out. Municipal Attorney Bert Odelson slammed the tactic as so illegal in so many ways, pointing out that it violated multiple state laws and undermined public trust in local government.
We believe strongly that that meeting was improperly called and improperly held. The residents of Dalton...
Even Henyard's cancer charity, once a cornerstone of her public image, has come under scrutiny. The Tiffany Henyard CES Foundation, which promised to empower cancer survivors, was recently ordered by the Illinois Attorney General to stop accepting donations after failing to register with the state. Critics argue that the charity had become another vehicle for self-promotion, with little transparency regarding how its funds were being used. It's just one more thing she's using to boost her image while the rest of us suffer, said community activist Stephanie Weedman. For many, these revelations have solidified the belief that Henyard's time in office has been driven more by personal gain than by a genuine commitment to public service. The financial mismanagement has had tangible consequences for Dalton's residents. The Illinois State Comptroller's Office cut off funding to the village after Henyard failed to provide the required financial reports. Meanwhile, the town's deficit continues to grow, leaving trustees scrambling to clean up the mess. Residents have had enough, with many calling for Henyard's resignation. Deborah Jordan, a lifelong Dalton resident, put it bluntly, "She's done nothing but embarrass this town. It's time for her to go."
Does all this point the finger to Tiffany or allow me? I'm over it. Now it's time for me.
The eviction that set the internet ablaze centers around Tiffany Henyard and her boyfriend, Cal Woods, who are being forced out of the suburban home they've rented since 2021. According to their landlord, Janetta Hull, the couple has failed to pay rent since August, leaving them thousands of dollars in arrears. Hull, who once considered Henyard a friend and even supported her campaign, expressed deep feelings of betrayal over the situation. The rent, which had increased to $2,400 per month due to rising property taxes, became a point of contention. Hull claims Woods told her they couldn't afford the new rate, despite the couple's combined income of over $300,000 from Henyard's roles as mayor and Thornton Township supervisor, as well as Woods' well-paying job in the township. In real estate, as Hull put it, for a household earning more than $350,000 a year, she couldn't understand how they couldn't manage to pay their rent.